Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. Two of the best players in the entire world. You should recognize them. This is the Wardy Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament. Trying out some new maps, maybe, to see on the ladder. But the Terran, the man, the myth, the machine, in the top left for Kaizai Gaming. No. Innovation. Recently, not as dominant of a force, but we will see if 2020 he will reassert himself. And in the bottom right, now on the Africa SC2 team, a man who's lost more GSL finals than anyone else has ever been in. It is soO. We're on Romanticide, which is one of the beautiful maps from the Team Liquid Map Contest, which is held a couple times a year, and community map makers come together, judges whittle down to the finalists, and then the people vote. And then Blizzard usually ignores those votes and picks a map they feel like picking anyways. But occasionally the first place map will make it through. So there is a real chance that maps from this will make it to the ladder. That's how we do it nowadays. It's proven to be better than Blizzard making another mediocre tiny rush distance space station map. So this Romanticide is a relatively standard map by Morris, the creator of Nightshade, and, well, there's several others I'm blanking on right now. Nightshade probably the least dramatic example. But it looks really good. A lot of the maps look really good. But it might be my favorite just on looks. It uses a very unique tile set without being kind of in your face about it. And I'm going into detail about all this, mostly because we're seeing exactly what we see in 80% of Terran versus Zergs. We got a Reaper expand up against 3 hatcheries, Zergling Speed Queen dropping down a Creep Tumor. So far, no serious... Oh, never mind. I take it back. Innovation's a greedy goose. He's going with the 3rd CC before Starport. There is a mineral wall that helps protect your 3rd / unlocks a rich Vespene 4th. It's a pretty defensive map with a relatively long rush distance. There's even some rocks that make things more difficult in the center. So you can gamble a little bit that your opponent's not going to go for an early all-in and get away with this. And Innovation is the type of guy to say, this is my build, I'm doing it, no matter what you think, no matter what you want me to do, or you think I'm going to do, I'm doing 3CC. He's known, like, despite his name, he's known for being very rigid. Sharp, but rigid. Like an arrowhead in his timings. And sometimes to his detriment. Sometimes, like, he's so... he's so committed to his builds, and eventually, like, he starts doing the same build over and over and over again, that people start hard countering him individually. They start countering the player as opposed to the matchup of the race. This is not one of those times, I don't think. Like, soO is just sitting back. There's not really, I guess, the best way to deal with this for soO if he had all that information. He didn't invest in Overlord speed. If he had all that information, would be sit back, build a lot of drones, don't overmake units, try to one-up the already high economy of the Terran. He's got a quick lair, which is probably for... He does have a Baneling nest. Okay, I would have said for a quick Baneling speed. I think it might time out with a lair. But so far, it's essentially like a no-rush 7-minute situation. It's not actually no rush, but there's no threat of a real damaging attack until either any lair tech kicks in or medevacs come out on either side. Lair tech could include Baneling Speed, Spire, Hydralis, the first two more likely than the latter, at this point. The medevac timing for Terran is what a lot of early pressure revolves around as well. So, going for Spire, a Mutalisks. Oh, Banshee comes in. Does it have cloak? No, just a Banshee. soO getting to the edge of the creep, pushing it away. Creep spread's going pretty well for soO right now. The Hellions haven't been able to slow it down much. And he didn't invest much in the Hellions either. The Overlord spots the double upgrade, so soO knows he's dealing with a strong bio play. The reactor just now finishing on the starport. He's got 5 racks online. It's just... We kind of just skipped any real early game pressure. And now we're playing a... macro game. 69 workers for soO, as his economy is shaping up nicely. Whereas Innovation, with 3 mules and 60 SCVs, he can't complain. He's already set up a wall over near his third base to shut down run-bys, which is probably the greatest threat, especially when moving out early on. Seven mutas on the way. So the best defense against Mutalisks is a good offense. You want to get up in their grill and make it so the mutas can't actually get into your mineral lines, because once that starts happening, things go downhill fast. Another good defense against mutas is killing them, because then they're dead. Thankfully, soO reacting quickly. He's going to be forced to help deal with this push. Baneling speed is not quite done yet. 1-1 is finishing up. A pretty sharp timing here for Innovation. The mutas are just going to go across. There's no turret in this mineral line. So soO going to find some SCV damage. He's going to delay the turret a little bit, kill 3 SCVs, head towards the main. But Innovation is still pushing in to the downside of the south. There's only a single tank with this. I don't think he has an armory quite yet for some Hellbat support. Baneling speed, 7 seconds out. 1-1, a little bit further on. Mutas finding 6 SCV kills. Still going to work. Innovation backs off before he can get overrun. Overall, soO a little supply blocked here, but Innovation taking minimal losses at home and forcing soO to make units, which keeps his economy in check. More mutas on the way. We're playing a Wings of Liberty game. Thors, Marines, tanks, and medevacs up against Mutaling Baneling. Full surround. The tanks are holding their ground. The Hellbat's helping out a lot. And the Marines, the second wave. The Baneling's mostly exhausted. He's got some more in reserve. The muta count is now at 14. He's nearly at the point. He might be at the point he can one-shot medevacs with that +1 flyer. Thor is on the way. Liberators as well. Liberators, I think, more for anti-ground than anti-air, but they have some splash. It's not the good old days when Liberators could just counter everything in the air and the ground. Thor is done. 2-2 on the way. Innovation slight lead on that. He's got 69 SCVs, so his economy is in a nice position as well. 4th command center is on location, but it just started. So he's going to want to keep up the pressure, especially with 2-2 finishing up. soO is taking his 5th command center. One turret's not going to cut it. That turret will die. It might be one shot. Like, this is a very dangerous amount of mutas. 15 to 20 mutas is usually where you don't want to risk going above. But when you have it, you have a very mobile and dangerous tool. Fragile glass cannon, but a cannon that can fly and regenerate very quickly. The one concern for soO is he's just now getting his infestation pit. He's just now opening up access to the hive. And without hive tech, even if there's no decisive engagement, Innovation can get 3-3 immediately, whereas soO has to wait till that hive is done. So if there's no decisive fight here, he could drop a mule potentially to mine some of these minerals or just bring SCVs. He's going to get through the rocks. This is quite a choke point here if the mineral wall is still up. Only workers can work on that. soO, he's going around the wrong side! The mineral wall! The mineral wall creates a terrible situation, but the flank eventually comes through. The Muta count is too damn high, and Innovation on creep is crushed either way. He will have to retreat. The fourth base is not a planetary. He's just a little bit too quick. And soO will be able to counterattack with overwhelming force. This might be enough to just break through entirely. Innovation down, back to his third. soO crushing the tanks. The supply is devastatingly low. There's still 13 mutas intact. The +2 flyer attack is about to finish. The planetary finishes at the last second, but it doesn't shoot up, and there's no more SCVs to repair. That fourth base is very important. Innovation going to try to save it, but at the end of the day, will it burn? Well, actually, the mutas will just kill it, so. Innovation with that planetary will tap it out. He fought onto creep. soO, the mainlings, more than enough. Just solid execution. Felt like, I don't know, Innovation overextending a little bit. He didn't throw any Whittle Mines into the mix. He relied on just a couple Thors. And soO had plenty of time to, like, well, if you're sitting back building a third command center, then they can sit back and build as many drones as they want for the first 5-6 minutes of the game. And a lot of the time, that does not favor Terran. It felt like Innovation might have a shot, but he underreacted to the Mutalisks. He was scrambling. His fourth base wasn't intact. And, well, it went downhill from there. Now we're on the map that I think is the coolest of... Now, like, there's a lot of things. Like, I think that was the best-looking map of the finalist pool. But now we have a map that has a unique layout, relatively unique. But it also works and isn't, like, super broken. Blackburn. Because a lot of people, when they make their maps, try a unique layout. But unique doesn't mean good. But this is one of the, if not the most unique map that made it through. It is a horizontally symmetrical map as opposed to vertically, where the players will spawn in the corners. That makes sense, right? And there are, well, now we have two. We have speed zones, acceleration zones, or speed bubs, and then bubulas. The slow zones are the well, formerly in green, but now in red. We've really advanced the technology here in StarCraft 2. So there are slow zones across the air. There is a pseudo island base on both sides, where it's not an island base, but there are rocks protecting it with slow zones here. And then to the north, there are slow zones and a high ground as well. Also, a gold base. It's just, there's a lot going on here. It could create some very interesting games. And because it's such a unique map, you know what I'm really surprised by? Innovation not breaking out the 2-Rex. For these map contests, players have a tendency to, instead of maybe doing some research on the maps, they say, oh, this map looks weird. Let's go, SCVs. How close can I get to his base, and where will his overlords go? But not this time. On maps like this, the overlord will see most scouting workers. soO. What is this down here? Something going on in there. There's also... Ooh. Hydralisk testing. What the fuck? soO? Well, soO's been here before. So soO wants to mine the back, only the mineral access of the gold base. Which is like, if this gets scouted, it's completely useless. But who's going to scout for it? Is that even as close as you can get? I guess, because of the way the minerals are laid out, they can't be close to even the closest patches. So this is, I mean, well, it's definitely creative. It's a hidden base. It's hidden on Innovation's side of the map, which actually decreases the chance of it being scouted, in my opinion. Innovation has decided to just, this time, even before his factory's finished, like, third command cell. I think soO has kind of preempted this. Brenda, where are you going? Trying to clear the third, at least make it look like she's clearing the third. So, it's always interesting to see the pro player takes on new maps. Some players will go for the cheese, and some players are like, well, if I can just get 70 workers, 5 barracks, a factory, a starport, and 3 command centers, then I'm going to be happy. But before that, we will not do anything. So, taking the third. Innovation should be none the wiser, though we will remove one creep tumor. Well, here we go. Now, I hope this game gets to the point where eventually Innovation looks to take this base and the minerals are gone. I hope, I dream we get there. It's unlikely. But in 17 minutes, when Innovation's taking his 5th, it's like, wait a second here. I mean, the hatch would probably still be there, so it would be pretty obvious what happened, but... And then soO mines all the minerals and then kills the hatch, so Innovation is extra confused. There you go, that's the biggest of brain plays. Is this map bugged? Mainly nest on the way. Oh, Banshee as well. This is kind of the safety Banshee. I think Innovation builds this more for making sure he doesn't die than to really do damage. Like, in case it's a Roach all-in or even a Ling Bane all-in. Obviously, there's very limited anti early. Queen's good defensively, but they're not going to be sauntering across the map particularly quick. Oh. The Babula slows air units. Oh, does not slow attack speed. Just slows the movement. Meanwhile, Innovation. Oh, okay, well, that's not the most valuable Banshee I've ever seen. soO is comfortably mining from 4 bases now. Innovation is on his 3rd. So... Take the other one. Take the other one, soO. This is a whole nother, like... 800-900 income per minute that Innovation is not going to realize is happening. The thing is, if it got scouted, like, he could put 1 Marine on the other side of the mineral line to deal with this. A scan spots the Spire, it spots the Evolution Chambers, it spots the Baneling Nest on the way. So soO, his hand is shown. Innovation knows what he's dealing with. What is he going to do about it? This time we're building Widow Mines. I think that's kind of what was missing from the unit composition last game. Widow Mines, one of the best tools, especially with drilling claws against Mutaling. And he was kind of slacking on that. soO finally found a way to compete with mules. All you have to do is proxy a hidden gold base. soO has so much vision. Like, this is soO's vision. Look at the mini-map. He sees almost everything. Whereas Innovation, he's got his Hellions. Oh, wait, okay, that's not a wall. It's just a Babula. Looked a little awkward. I feel like even... The thing is, Innovation is on a comfortable 3 base. And he might not even realize why he's so comfortable. He's going to have plenty of units with production. Armory's on the way. 1-1's going to be slightly quicker. Mutas are already heading across their Widow Mines to help slow down the Mutalisks. And he's got zoning turrets as well. Oh, he hasn't spotted it. There's no reason he would look there. He's looking for this base. He understands this base is a threat. Oh my god. Going up to the high ground. He spots that soO is now taking his gold base, which it seems like an appropriate timing. Now... Whoa! Whoa! What was that? Yo! He didn't see, didn't notice. A spot of creep. Wait a second, did he... It's not even on the mini map. Oh, now there's more creep. Let's look at the innovation cam. The moment. Wait, he's still not really. Okay. The innovation cam. The mini map has to be a little weird here. I'm surprised he hasn't really maybe he thinks it's an overlord. Maybe he hasn't even thought about it. Oh my god. Come on, innovation! Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not. But wait. Come on. Does not. Oh my god. soO just ran the drones away. We saw it on the mini-map. Ah! He's like, wait a second. Oh. Well. This is awkward. I'd say about half the minerals were mined here. Innovation can't be super happy about this. A tale of two bases. A song of creeping mules. Oh. Down goes. How much does soO have? He only has 14 banelings right now, which is a little on the low side. Innovation is marching across. 2-2's finishing up, and he seems angry. Is it just the way he's moving his units seems angry? I might be just attributing that. No, he seems angry. He's very unhappy about this. And also the fact he probably knew for significantly longer than he actually dealt with it. But 2-2 is just about to finish up 2-2. Oh my god, use your words. 2-2 still pretty far off for soO. Those upgrades finishing up. And, marching up the ramp. 3-3 immediately starts. soO just now starting his high. Clearing the creep on the high ground. So far, the banelings are coming in from all angles. The Marines will split back. The Thor's trying to look for shots on the Muse. There's just so many Are there more banelings? Oh my god. A lot of... It looked like soO might just be able to roll him, but then it looked like the Terrans, the Marines were enough. Well, Innovation is mining the scraps left over by soO of this gold base. soO's now... Oh, he's got to wait for those mutas to regenerate. Innovation's still maxed. He has so many. He has 72 Marines, a Thor, a couple. Like, he's very Marine heavy. Here come the mutas, the Lings, the Banelings. They're rolling through. The splits are good. Oh, a few Banelings are going to close the distance. The Marine count is not quite high enough. The reinforcement's not going to make the difference. But Innovation, it is not a rout. It's a tactical withdrawal. Most of the medevacs survive. Some of the mutas and all of the banelings were knocked out of there. What an awkward base. He just needs to mine through so we can move back and forth through the mineral patches. I don't like... I think that went fine for Inno. Especially he's closing it on 3-3. soO just got his hive tech. He's now mining for what it is from a gold base. The Muta's still looking for opportunities, but they're becoming a liability more than a benefit as just the sheer Marine count. They have to be microed so much to be valuable. If they're not, then you'd rather have a bunch more Lings and Banes, to be honest. soO has another round of Banelings. 19 with 8 more in the mail. 3-3 on the way, but Innovation's 3-3 is going to finish up very soon. He's trying to pick another fight, and why not? He's maxed out. The Marauders will lead the charge. There's one Thor to hold it down, but another big round of Banelings. Here comes soO, looking for a fight. Banelings rolling through. The Liberator's being used for anti-air. The Marines are splitting. There's still a few more Banelings. He's looking for the target fire. He's not finding it. Innovation rolling around the dead Ultralisk on a spike. Trying to envision that for himself, but soO will push him back off the map and maintain the mining from his gold. Innovation is down to 3 patches on his own, which is it's making the gold base kind of obsolete. Wings and mains. The mutas. Oh, the base is finished. He's starting a planetary. The muta's heading back home. Innovation is very deep in soO territory. That Thor drawing a lot of Zerglings and Banelings away from the main army. The Marauder's trying to shoot over the top. One Marauder going to work. +3 done. Liberator kills a few drones. The rest going back to work. He spots the Corruptors as well. The supply's dead even. The army supply is nearly even. But this isn't all Innovation has. If soO brings his whole army down as a hammer on top of Innovation's head, I don't think he's going to be able to withstand it. The Thor, he's got to pick it up. He's got to go. But the Banelings! He's got to get to the high ground in full retreat, full stims. The Marines on the high ground, though. The Liberators with splash damage. The Marines micro back. They're trying to split. They might be caught between a rock and a hard place. The line holds for now. The Marines force back. The Thor holding its ground. Innovation losing so much, but so is soO. At the same time, he loses both Thors. Reinforcing bio. Pushes back across the map. 48 more Zerglings, soO taking a slight lead in supply, but only slight. And remember how cost-effective these bio units are. All the Liberators were lost, though. He's back down to bio. Thor's on the way. There are now 8 barracks pumping, 1 factory, 1 starport, whereas soO has restabilized this base, is still mining with 180 HP. A half dozen more Marauder shots might have been enough. Meanwhile, Innovation does have the fresh base near his main. The gold is, honestly, mining half of that gold out might be all the difference here. If Innovation had another few hundred minerals per minute, it might be enough. Because soO is on a knife's edge right now. He doesn't have hive tech units, he just has the upgrades. Most of the mutas are dead. He's lost 18, 1 survivor. Now it's Corruptors. Innovation's working forward. Drop going out to the north. We'll see if he ends up taking the semi-island base. +3 armor on the way. Those sides kind of calming down after those high-priced engagements. soO has lost slightly more in the resources, mostly minerals, which he can afford. Innovation coming forward. He's on the creep, though, and he's got Bubulas to his back. You gotta be careful. Looks like the medevac was spotted. The Corruptors are chasing. Innovation stepping forward. He's heading towards the main. He's gonna transition towards the center of the map. Gotta be careful. Caught on the slow zones. Oh, the no HP medevac will eventually... He'll get 1 Marine out! And that will draw part of the army away. Innovation in kind of an awkward spot here. There's a whole lot of Lings and Banes. 125 Zerglings. Make that 150. There's now 8 Corruptors, but I don't believe there's a Greater Spire. There is not. He's still just upgrading flyer attack. Whole bunch of Lings and Bane. soO looking to bring the full split. Innovation looking to preempt it by attacking one side first. That's all. A lot of the Marines are caught behind the Thors and the tanks, which is where they want to be. He's holding his ground. Are there any more Banelings? soO's getting gunned down! But another round of Baneling! 1 tank goes down. Baneling's nearly there. He needs to split. He's got to run. Marauders stimming forward. They want to tank the Banelings. They almost do. Corruptors kill the medevacs. soO doesn't break through. Innovation with a solid engagement. The Marines, the greatest number of them well protected behind much tankier units, and soO was not able to get the Banelings through in time. It's not over yet. They both still have high-powered economies, mining thousands of minerals and gas a minute. Well, almost 1,000 gas a minute. The Corruptor's looking for an opportunity. Awkwardly, there's no anti-air, just 4 Marauders, a Liberator, and a lot of unhappy SEVs. The TPM begins to raise. Infestors on the way. Infestors could save the day. Innovation has ground out a supply lead, but soO is investing in more cost-effective units now. He's realized that the time for these brawls in the center of the map is ending. If he doesn't transition into something with more stopping power, eventually Innovation will grind him down. He'll win the war of attrition. He's going for the Rock Island, the southern base. He's got rocks to protect him on the other side. It's a decent position once you establish it. Some Ultras on the way. Chitin is plating. Burrow. Infestors are already on the field. soO looking for a counterattack or a cutoff. It's unclear. He's going to go for the main. Wings and Banes coming through. A lot of Banes trickling in on a move command to maximize the amount of damage they're able to tank. But soO's not able to break this army, partially because his units were counterattacking. Innovation will claim this position while claiming the southern base. That was his main command center. Lifted. Liberators will eventually clean this up. Building armor is on the way. It will be protected. Innovation pulls back. soO still has several mining bases, but we're running out. Like, there's actually not that many bases on this map. It looks pretty large, but the only other base available are the center bases. soO can take the north. Innovation's already taken the south. The Mulehammer will drop. Let's take a look at that income. I don't know if the command center will stay alive, but that many mules is going to have a pretty dramatic effect. The Ultras are trying to break through the rocks. Both sides barreling in. More Banelings from the back. The Corruptor's nearly able to take the command center, but it's not going to be enough. The rocks will remain intact for now. Bubula's a soft protection. There are more rocks in the center. The burrowed infestors! The Liberators will siege. A whole lot of Ultralists, though, barreling through into the Bubulas. The tanks are there, but all they're good for is tanking themselves. There is a planetary at the back line. The Marines caught up against it. A whole chunk of bio taken out with the Banes underneath. You can't even see them under the medevacs. Infestors showing up to the party. The planetary goes down. The Infestors have not yet been revealed. He catches the medevacs. He's catching them. The Corruptor's doing a lot of damage. Innovation plummeting in supply. Can he stabilize? More Ultras on the way. Innovation is back towards his main. And with it, like, most of his army supply is in medevacs right now. Half of his barracks are cut off. Innovation, a potentially fatal blow. The Ultras never forget. They realize this base is down here, and suddenly Innovation is down to very... Oh, beautiful Fungal! The boys! All the reinforcements chopped to pieces, and just like that, soO sweeps the leg, and he knocks Innovation down and probably out. As with all these 50, 60 SCVs dying, the 3 infestors worth their weight in gold and minerals, of which soO has been quite a purveyor this game. Quite a conversation. soO with a dramatic and exciting victory. What a game. I think, and rightly so, a lot of the judges for the Team Liquid map contest, which, full disclosure, I was one, were excited about this map. Because while it is different and unique, both from maps we have right now and like the total submissions, it looked to be the site of interesting games. Without having like, well, everywhere has a ramp or something. I think that is a good case for it. soO breaks through. Innovation, trying to rely on those Marines and the Marauders and units that start with M for the most part. Some great fights, but soO seemed more adaptable, more flexible. soO wins the war. But I want to thank those players for such a great game. For the fans, thank Wardy, as always. Twitch.tv/Wardy with 3 eyes. And on YouTube, where he's probably already uploaded this game, but thank you if you're watching it on mine. Like and subscribe and ring all of the bells and Kappa in the chat and leave all those illustrious comments about, to quote Innovation ? To quote soO, Z. What does that mean? I have my suspicions. But thank you for watching StarCraft 2. Thank you for watching me. Good luck and have fun. I tried to time this with the dramatic swell, but with that,
Hell, it's about